All right, I just finished up training on my Instagram and I'm gonna do the same training here. Huh. Well, let me just go on. Because my dilemma is that yesterday I didn't train on my Facebook Live, so you didn't get to see the first one. The first two trainings where I talked about expectation management. Um, Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go on with the second part. I just encourage you to follow me on my Instagram so you can see my previous trainings. My Instagram, if you don't know already know, it's at Jax Solomon, JAXSOLOMON. No. Scratch that. I'm sorry. It's Solomon.jax. SOLOMON.JAX. I forgot that I got rid of that previous account. So what I want to talk about in today's live video is the second part of expectation management. If you were in the training previous to this training, couple of trainings, I talked about expectation management, the three aspects of expectation management. The first one being managing what you expect of yourself. And today, I want to talk about the second aspect of expectation management, just as important. Managing what you expect of other people. Remember that other people have different moral codes and ethical codes than you do, even if they're in the same community, even if they're in the same family. Even your siblings have different ethical and moral codes from you. There's this notion that there is such a thing as common sense. Common sense is just common to you. It may not be common for everybody else. And if you're going to presume that something is common, then you're really going to be in for a world of hurt and suffering, because a lot of people may not see it as a common thing. Especially particularly different intellects, different IQ levels, different communities, different groups. Okay, well, I digress. So don't expect anything, any of the same things that you expect of yourself from anybody else. Remember, don't expect anything from anybody else which are the things that you would expect for yourself. So you're asking the question, Jax, what do I do if I can expect anything from... how can I become comfortable if I can't expect anything from anybody else, which I'm comfortable with, the moral codes and ethical codes? Well, I'll explain to you how you can do that. But first, let me go over the difference between the delineation you should make between ethical codes and moral codes if you haven't already recognized. Moral codes are what you learn by default, the codes that you learn by default by by growing up in a community, the codes taught to you by your parents. Whether you're born religious or you're born non-religious, different communities, different moral codes, but you're born into it by default. Ethical codes are ethics which you learn from joining any specific kind of group. For example, the doctors have different, the medical field have medical ethical codes, the nurses ethical codes, military ethical codes, different groups, different ethical codes. So that's the delineation between that. Now, here's what I will talk about. What should you expect of other people then if you can't expect anything from them? I'll go over this powerful method which you could apply, and when you apply this method with any of your interactions, you'll have less and less suffering. You'll become much more happy and fulfilled, and manage your expectations very well. And here's what it is. Here's what I do, and here's what I encourage you to do. You presume of other people what you would presume of just about anybody. You presume the best of people. You presume number one, that they're going to be using the best that they can with the resources that they have. The best that they can with the resources that they have. So I don't mean like material resources or money. I'm talking about like intellectual resources and emotional resources and any resource that they have. They're going to use the best of it they can. Some people have less and less resources. Some people have a lot of resources through experience and perspective. So You just presume the best from people. A lot of times they'll disappoint you. A lot of times they will. But you presume the best in them with managing your expectations that a lot of them are going to disappoint you. And then you get to know the person. That's number two. You get to know them. How do you get to know somebody? You ask them questions about themselves. You ask them questions. One of the most powerful questions you can ask is, what do you think? What do you think is one of the most powerful questions you can ask somebody, and you get to know more and more about them. Isn't that a profound strategy? Get to know the person. Some people just talk about themselves, and it's horrific. If you want to become a good Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie wrote the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you want to be a good communicator, be a good listener. I'll leave it at that. Just find out more about them. Ask them questions about themselves. People love talking about themselves. If you can get them to become comfortable to talk about themselves, they're gonna leave, even though you talk very little about yourself. They're gonna say, wow, that person's a good communicator. I don't know why. It's because you've allowed them, and you've made them feel comfortable to talk about themselves. And that's the lesson for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the third aspect of expectation management. Until then, and by the way, if you want to find out more about me, go to my website, jackssolomon.com. I think there's a button above this video where you can click on it, click on the button, and when you click on the button, you get live notifications every time I come on live. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.